before we continue further, anyone, any doubts in this position report format? Both of them? No. Now, just keep this thing in mind. Whenever you do not want to report your position, you just want to talk and you want to tell the ATC your position, what are you going to do? You are just going to get rid of the time, anything related to time. Just get rid of this time and get rid of this time. Anything related to time. Position is PRL, point, root, level. Where am I? Position IDASO, Papa 761, flight level 350. And then I can give other information and take action as per the things written in my question. What do you have to do? Just simply get rid of the time. Okay, these are about general questions. These are about general questions where you simply have to transmit your position. Okay, any doubts, anyone?
So in position report, we have to exclude the time.
In position report, you have to say the time because it is a report, and report means it has to do with time. But when you're simply in a normal call transmitting your position, कि यार हाँ भाई whom, who, where में बोलते हैं ना कि मैं कहाँ हूँ, तो बस अगर सिंपली उसको ये बोलना है कि सर आई एम ओवर हियर एंड उसके बाद अपनी इन्फॉर्मेशन, सर मेरे साथ ये कांड हो गया, मेरे साथ वो कांड हो गया, तो उसमें हम लोग वी आर गिविंग हिम आवर पोजीशन ना. एवरी सिंगल टाइम वी वोंट टेल हिम आवर टाइम. एवरी सिंगल इंस्टेंस वी कांटेक्ट हिम वी वोंट टेल हिम सर ये टाइम पे हम आपको कांटेक्ट करें. नो, जस्ट सिंपली टेल हिम सर मैं ये पोजीशन पे हूँ, और मुझे अगर उसको बतानी है अपनी पोजीशन, मैं टाइम से रिलेटेड सारी चीजें हटा दूंगा अपने कॉल में. डू यू वांट मी टू गिव यू एन एग्जांपल?
कॉन्टैक्ट में करेंगे ना हम लोग से ट्रांसमिट.
सॉरी,
टाइम इनिशियल कॉन्टैक्ट में ट्रांसफर करेंगे, उसके बाद जो भी साइमल्टेनियस कॉन्टैक्ट होगा
ना टाइम इनिशियल कॉन्टैक्ट में आपको टाइम ट्रांसफर करने की ऐसा कुछ जरूरत है ही नहीं. देयर इज नथिंग रिलेटेड टू इनिशियल कॉन्टैक्ट. हैव आई टोल्ड एनीथिंग रिलेटेड टू इनिशियल कॉन्टैक्ट टिल नाउ? नो, राइट? फॉर एग्जांपल, let's say simply you are at a position and you want to ask for a climb clearance. Okay, let's say you are over here. If I was over here, if I was over at Didaso, I had to give a position report. I will mandatorily, compulsorily have to give a position report. But let's say I'm at position A and I don't want to give a position report. I simply want to contact ATC. I want to tell him my position and I want to ask him for a climb clearance. This is how it's going to be. It's going to be Chennai Control, Victor Tango Papa November Tango, on 118.9 position 80 nautical miles from Idaso, Papa 761, flight level 350, request climb flight level 370. It's that simple. PRL. Simple है ना? PRL. And then whom, who, where हो गया. Over here your where got finished. उसके बाद what do we have? We have the what. What can there be? Information action request. यहाँ पर सिर्फ request works. Understood, Vedant? Great. So this was about position report. Now I'm going to teach you about weather deviation. The question is, okay,
ये जो अभी एग्जांपल लिखा है वो नॉर्मल पोजीशन रिपोर्टिंग
नॉर्मल
का था.
कॉल नहीं, हाँ पोजीशन रिपोर्ट नहीं आएगा भाई. देख, रिपोर्ट शब्द जहां पर आ गया ना, मतलब समझ जाना टाइम आएगी. नॉर्मल, एक नॉर्मल कॉल में अपनी पोजीशन बताना है. इट्स नॉट अ रिपोर्ट.
उसको रिक्वेस्ट कुछ और कर रहा है लेकिन उसको लोकेशन बताना है कि भाई यहाँ भी फिलहाल में.
हर कॉल में लोकेशन तो बतानी होगी ना. Every call you have to tell him where you are. So in general terms, when you are simply talking, okay sir you are okay, sir you are here, sir you are here. Okay. Any doubts? Any doubts? Let's start. The next topic is weather deviation or weather rerouting. One of the most important, and this is going to give you the biggest calls that is there. Weather deviation. Now, there are two words that we need to actually look after. The first word is rerouting. And the second one is deviation. And the third one is diversion. Let's have a small discussion over this. Can anyone highlight the differences between the three? If किसी को कुछ भी मालूम है या किसी भी word के बारे में, if anyone knows anything, please feel free to speak.
Rerouting is assigning a new route.
Okay, good, correct.
Deviation is unintentional change of path, and diversion is intentionally changing the path of someone specific.
You said rerouting is changing the route.
Yes.
What about deviation?
Deviation and unintentionally changing the path. We deviated from a path.
Okay.
And diversion is intentionally asking someone to divert or to change the.
What is the difference between rerouting and diversion?
It's the same destination, but rerouting has another route, and diversion is to another destination.
Exactly. Rerouting may you are not changing the destination, whereas in diversion you are changing the destination. Easy, it is that simple. Okay. Where will you change your destination to?
Alternate
If think what is the how will you know where is your alternate?
flight plan.
Beautiful. Everyone can connect the dots. So rerouting is a change in route. Okay, but you're going via a route itself. You're not following a kacha rasta. You're not following a footpath. Okay, it's a change in route. Generally, let's say you want to go from place A to place B. And let's say you have weather in between. You have a route available like this. You have a route available like this, and you have a route available like this. So what will you end up doing? You'll end up, you are over here, you'll end up coming to this point, you'll go over here, and then you will again go over here, and you'll again rejoining your original route, right? This process is called rerouting. You are still a part of the major ATS routes of the world. You did not exit an ATS route. This process is called rerouting. There is another subpart to rerouting that we all want to know, and that subpart is direct routing. Okay, direct routing. This is another thing that you can do. Let's say out of these routes, we had a waypoint over here, we had a waypoint over here, we had a waypoint over here, but you did not have this route available. This route does not exist, and your aircraft is over here. And your aircraft is over here. So, do you think I should penetrate the weather? I don't think I should penetrate the weather. I can do something known as a direct routing. I can be over here and I can fly on a direct track to this waypoint. And at this waypoint, I will join this particular ATS route. And then I can continue till I'm clear of weather on this route. And thereafter, I'll rejoin my original route. Right? Notice in both of these examples, I am rejoining my original. Notice that in both of these examples, I am rejoining my original ATS route. Can there be times where I will not be able to rejoin my original ATS route? There can be times, right? There can be times. For example, let's say you're going from position A and you're going to position B. Okay. The weather is over here. This is a point, compulsory reporting point. This is another compulsory reporting point. And this is your aircraft. So instead of now see, I deviated, I went on a direct routing to this point. Okay. I went on a direct routing to this point. Thereafter, I continued, but did I join my original route? No. I straight away proceeded to the destination. So, in such a case, I will not be rejoining my original route. Why am I teaching this to you? Because there is a separate clause, there is a separate line, there is a separate clause in the format which will talk about you being able to rejoin your ATS route or not. Okay, original ATS route or not. Works? Works. So these are the few conditions that you might encounter as a process of rerouting or deviation. Okay. Now, what is deviation? Let's say none of these routes are available. Let's say none of these routes are available. I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. And you still have weather and you don't have any of these routes available. You're flying over the Indian Oceanic region. What are you going to do? Imagine you being on a highway and यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा जाम लगा हुआ है. You cannot penetrate this. What do? वो Tejas comes to me and tells me, okay, I have a kacha rasta over here and I have a kacha rasta over here. I will meet you over here. Everyone has seen the movie Dhamal. Kacha rasta to Goa. जानवी ने नहीं देखा. Janvi, how do you read? Your video is stuck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, she's stuck. Janvi, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read? Let her rejoin. Let her rejoin. So far, any doubts, anyone? That's right. So what is deviation?
bypassing a route.
Bypassing a route. Rerouting में also you were bypassing. The tarika of the bypass has changed. The tarika, the way that you bypass the route has changed. Okay. Let the lady join. I'll tell you. Vedant, what is a surface wave?
Surface wave. फिर से बोलो तुम. वो finishing. Surface waves is a radio wave which travels along the surface of the earth and
Hey, you
curves.
gave this last time, no?
Huh?
Tejas, what is surface wave?
क्या वो जोक मारा गया?
No.
नहीं तब वेदांत दस रहा था इसलिए. Surface waves are the type of radio waves which travels along the curvature of Earth. It basically falls under by a frequency band of 20 kilohertz to 50 megahertz.
Very good.
Is upper end of lower frequency and higher end of sorry, lower higher end of lower frequency and upper end of higher frequency.
And nothing
And
else. Everyone to be joining the radio nav class till 12:30 today.
नहीं, मैंने लिखा था, मैं भूल गया, लिखा हुआ है.
कोई नहीं, चलो we'll continue with deviation. Okay, जानवी. तो डेविएशन क्या है हमारा? मान ले ये वाला चीज मैंने यहाँ पे कॉपी पेस्ट कर दिया, बट नाउ आई डू नॉट हैव एनी रूट्स अवेलेबल. ठीक है, ये जो दोनों रूट्स नहीं है मेरे पास अवेलेबल नहीं है, मैं क्या करूंगा? धमाल देखी है? धमाल मूवी नहीं देखी है ना? देखिए, ठीक. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ टेकिंग द कच्चा रास्ता, द अदर हाईवेज दैट आर देयर, what are we gonna do? We are gonna track a little offset. We are going to track a little offset, fly parallel to the ATS route, and then at some point rejoin the ATS route. This process is called deviation. It's like traveling but on the footpath of the highway. I am on a deviated track, a track deviated from the center line. Remember on the CDI we have a D bar, a deviation bar. I am here also deviated. When I'm flying on this deviated track, the D bar will be in the deviated position. I choose the amount of deviation that I can fly. 15 nautical miles is the minimum. Why is 15 nautical miles the minimum? Any CB, you need to remain how many miles away? 10 to 20 nautical miles away, correct? So any CB at least will have a radius of 5 nautical miles, at least in the question. अगर उसका रेडियस 5 का है तो आप कम से कम 15 दूर रहोगे सेंटर लाइन से, राइट? If the CB has a radius, minimum radius of 5, you will be remaining at least 50 nautical miles away, right? Yes. So this process is called deviation. This process is called deviation. Also, whenever you do your VFR cross country flying, whenever you get into a flying school, this process will also be taught to you whenever you are doing your cross country flights. In VFR flying, this same process is called to fly a dog leg. This is called a dog leg. Okay. Works. And I'll teach you why is this called a dog leg. Since you guys are not flyers over here, some things that I wanted to teach you regarding cross country flying, I cannot teach it to you right now. Okay, otherwise I would have expanded more on this regarding VFR cross country flying. Okay, but nevertheless I'll give you that information. Have a look. So whenever we actually do a route flying, Janvi, just understand this very well. You have read R.K. Bali ka navigation ka kitab, right? Have you gone through the theory of it?
ऊपर से ओवररीड किया था नोट्स के लिए.
तो वो जो 13 के बाद वाले चैप्टर्स थे, परफॉर्मेंस के बाद वाले, जिसमें इनफ्लाइट नेविगेशन आ जाती थी, उसमें nav log वगैरह दिखाया था, उसमें कुछ पढ़ा था?
नहीं.
समझ आया था द टाइप्स ऑफ नेविगेशन दैट इज देयर? नहीं ना. अगर आपने वो पढ़ा होता यू वुड हैव नोन व्हाट इज अ डॉग लेग. ठीक है, सिंस you also haven't studied that, I will teach it to you right away. Okay, so a dog leg is basically, let's say you cannot overfly this place, or for whatever reason you take 60 degrees offset from the direction that you are. 60 degrees. You fly for X amount of minutes. Again, then you turn 60 degrees inbound. So a change of direction of 120 degrees. है ना? 60 degrees you corrected to come back to parallel track, and again 60 degrees you gave a closing angle. Okay. Why 60? I'll teach it to you. Okay, if these two are 60, then this guy is also going to be 60, correct? And if all of these are 60, then this side is equal to this side is equal to this side. A dog leg is always, remember this. Palak, if you're listening to this in the recording, please remember this. Any weather deviation or any rerouting that you do, a dog leg should always be created by a 60-degree offset for the purpose of VFR flying. This is written in RK Bali. And there's a very big reason for this. There is a very big reason for this. It is for the purpose of estimate calculation. It is for the purpose of estimate calculation. Tell me something. If I'm not flying this track, my nav log was made according to this track. My nav log was made according to this track. And now I have to calculate estimates based on this track, this track, this track, this track. This is a very absurd track, right? This is a very absurd track. It will take me a lot of time to calculate the estimates. But what if I tell you, you won't take a single minute to do it? Only you'll take a second. And the reason for that is because now you have successfully created an equilateral triangle. This side is equal to this side is equal to this side. So if you turn on your right, let's say you are flying over here. Okay, this is outside the scope of your RTR syllabus. This is something flying related stuff that I'm teaching you. Okay. Any doubts? So let's say you plan on reaching here at 1100, and your estimate for this point was 1110. Cool. And your estimate of your destination was 1200. Perfect, na? No issues. No issues, right? So at 1100, my aircraft is over here. Right? But now there is weather, or ATC tells me to, come a little bit late. So what will I do? I want to go 10 minutes late. So I will turn right and I will go 10 minutes to this place. I will go 10 minutes to this place. And then it will again take me 10 minutes to come over here. And then again, I will go over here. Okay. So what does this equilateral triangle do for us? This was a span of 10 minutes and you wanted to burn extra 10 minutes. Let's say ATC told you come 10 minutes late. So how, with the help of just a compass, you can exactly calculate extra 10 minutes in the air? Or let's say you just deviated, because see, when you're deviating, you're too busy getting cleared of weather and noting down where is the clear way, whether I can join or not. How can you tell him revised estimates? This was one way. The other one was, let's say, okay, over here you saw a lot of weather and you decided to deviate. And you deviated and you flew here for 7 minutes. Let's say you flew in this direction for 7 minutes. You flew in this direction for 7 minutes. Cool. What will be your revised ETA? 1207. It's that simple. It is that simple. Why? Because if you gave a closing angle, this thing is a duration of 7 minutes, this thing is a duration of 7 minutes, this thing is a duration of 7 minutes, right? You, in real life, in normal life, you would have flown for 7 minutes, right? But now you're flying double the time. Correct? So whatever 7 minutes you would have flown in this direction, you burnt down those 7 minutes in this direction. And now you have to fly an extra of the same amount of time. So that gives us our good estimate calculation. Now the question is, why 60 degrees only? Because if I make it any other angle, I make it 30 degrees. And I make it 30 degrees. I will not be able to apply the same calculation here. This side will be equal to this side. Why? Isosceles triangle. But how is it going to relate to your actual flight path? How is it going to relate to your actual flight path? It cannot relate to your actual flight path. That is why any deviation that you do has to be 60 degrees. You guys will not realize the importance of this, but when you start cross-country flying, And the instructors over there, they don't teach you this trick about estimate calculation. These are the things which are taught in the United States and other countries. And they don't
Distance
teach you
doesn't
this.
matter in this.
Sorry?
मतलब कितना दूर जाना है, that doesn't matter. Only time matters.
Only time matters. So this is a process by which your estimate calculation becomes easier. That is it. Nothing else. Yes, Sriram.
How do we compensate for winds over here? We have tailwind in one side and head on other. Do we still have to come up with a
You have
calculation?
rule of thumbs available. For every knot of headwind, you fly 1 extra second.
Okay.
You, when whichever aircraft you fly, you will have the rule of thumbs for headwinds and tailwinds available. Okay. So did you understand what is deviation? Deviation is simply going like this, flying an offset track and then coming back. This is deviation. What is diversion? Diversion is basically rerouting plus change of destination. It is rerouting only plus change of destination. Okay. Any doubts, anyone? Pakka? Yes.
भाई change of destination कैसे?
Change of destination. If you are going to place A, you are not now going to place, sorry, you are going to place B, but now you're not going to place B due to technical problems or operational
I
reasons.
thought आप वो deviation का लिखा रहे हो, diversion. I'm sorry.
Sorry?
I thought आप deviation की वो definition लिखा रहे हो, change destination.
No. This is under diversion, buddy. Everyone, this is under diversion. Okay. Diversion is what? It is rerouting only. Diversion can only happen with rerouting. It cannot happen with deviation. Plus change of destination. Out of this, this is the most preferred course of action. After that, this is the most preferred course of action. After that, so prioritize this, then you prioritize this, then you prioritize this. If this is not available, then only go to this. If this is not available, then only go to this. Works? Easy. Now the question is, when do I reroute? When do I deviate? When do I reroute? When do I deviate? Please make a note that regarding this thing, this type of a call can not only be used for the purpose of weather deviation, but this can only also be used for the purpose of so deviation, and rerouting, they can not only be used for weather. Weather deviation, you can do this procedure for two things. One, of course, is weather. The second one that I want to teach you is airspace closure. Airspace closure. Whenever you have an airspace closure, treat it like a CB. Treat the airspace like a CB. What do you mean by weather? Weather means CB. In simple words, what is CB? Cumulative numbers. Okay. There are two ways of getting outside weather, or let's say correction, airspace. ठीक है. वेदर से बचने के दो तरीके होते हैं रियल लाइफ में, एंड एयर स्पेस से भी बचने के दो तरीके होते हैं. बट वेदर वी शुड नॉट लेट्स से आई हैव सम वेदर ओवर हियर, I should not climb on top of it because this can always develop up, right? So I should always tend to do what? Yeah, if I'm flying over here, I should take a deviated path, go offset, get cleared of weather, and again join my ATS route. I should not ever plan on increasing my altitude and then going up and then again coming down. Okay? Yeah.
Down roads?
Sorry.
Microburst नहीं हो सकता if you are taking the below route.
This microburst extends below. Okay? This thing extends below. What is
We are taking right or left, right?
This is deviating, increase in altitude. This is increasing altitude. Okay, and this is a deviation. The black course that I've drawn is a deviated course. Okay, this is on the same level. I've drawn it in kind of like a 3D fashion types. This is coming out of the screen. Okay, Tejas. What I'm just simply trying to tell you here, don't increase altitude and fly over the weather in real life. Okay? Any doubts?
भाई डेविएशन की एक बार वो लिखा देना वन लाइनर.
Deviation, लिखो. Everyone write it down. Simply flying offset a route until clear of weather. Okay. Now, regarding an airspace closure, you can do two things. You can treat it like a CB only. Always remember whenever ATC tells you or the question paper tells you, okay, this airspace has closed, X airspace has closed. If you can climb on top of it and go. But they'll give you tricky questions. Let's say this is a control zone and the upper limit of this control zone is flight level 165 and you are a VFR traffic. Okay, and you're flying on a cruising level of 130. Okay, and over there in the entire question paper in the flight plan, they have somewhere written V. You though will be very smart and you will think, sir, I though can, it is 165 and this airspace is closed. I can climb. And you will ask for a climb call. And this is what most people do. They forget to read the flight plan. Because you are a VFR flight, you are restricted to flight level 150. This becomes a trick question. And many people fail to realize this. And they'll come up and they'll be like, okay, sir, why did we not climb and why did we deviate? Why did we give a rerouting call? Why did we not give a call of climbing and clearing the airspace? And then I tell the students, please look at your flight plan. It is a VFR flight, you are restricted to 150. And then they beautifully say, oh, if you ever plan on teaching anyone, if the student says, oh, matlab usko samajh aa gaya. Okay. So, in such cases, what will you do? You can either, one second. Any doubts as of yet?
भाई एयरस्पेस वाला फिर से एक्सप्लेन कर देना एक बार.
भाई देख, कभी कभार ना ऐसे क्वेश्चन पेपर देख, मान ले तेरे को ऐसे बोला गया, यहाँ पे VFR फ्लाइट दे दी और यहाँ पे बोला भाई आगे जाके ना तेरा एक तो एयरस्पेस है वो क्लोज्ड है और जो VFR फ्लाइट है फ्लाइट लेवल 130 पे क्रूज कर रहा है. अब आप सोचोगे, रूट चार्ट्स देखोगे, रूट चार्ट्स में आपको वर्टिकल लिमिट दिखी हुई है, ये इस एयरस्पेस की, एयरस्पेस क्लोज है, मतलब आप इसको पेनिट्रेट कर ही नहीं सकते. यू कैन नॉट पेनिट्रेट दिस एयरस्पेस. सो व्हाट विल बी योर फर्स्ट थॉट? अरे आई कैन क्लाइम, नो, I can climb flight level 170 and I can go. Right? But can you? This is a trick question. Okay. So treat an airspace closure. If you can climb, point one, try to climb. Why? You'll save on fuel. If you can't, give a weather deviation call. Works? So this weather deviation format is for both of these cases. I have now explained you what is rerouting, what is deviation, and what is diversion. Take a quick 5-minute break, and after that, I will teach you the different formats. Any doubts? Okay. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Okay? नो चलो चलो तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं समझ गया वेदांत समझ गया क्या समझा वेदांत
अरे कैरी में नाटी है
मैंने टेक्निकल गुरुजी वाला बोला था
वो भी बोलता है ना, लेकिन वो आगे कुछ और भी बोलता है, वो आपने नहीं कहा ना।
और क्या बोलता है वो
कौन कैरी में नाटी?
नहीं गुरुजी
गुरु जी तो यही कहते हैं बस।
अच्छा कैरी मैंने आप का वो तो कैसे हो दोस्तों वो वाला चलो सो हाँ बता तेजस बोल रहा था कुछ बोलना
अरे मैं ये बोल रहा था कैरी मिनाटी 21+ है वो, वेदांत अभी 18 का ही अभी बच्चा है।
कैरी मनाती से 22-21 का
अरे उसका कंटेंट 21+ है, वेदांत अभी 18 का ही हुआ है।
सॉरी भैया।
चलो शुरू करते हैं सो I want everyone to make this with me. You can be presented with a lot of conditions, okay? The first condition कुछ भी करा सकते हैं यार आपके साथ मतलब आपको बोल देंगे यार ATC अवेलेबल है ATC बिजी है the ATC can be available the ATC can be occupied ATC is busy or he can also say ATC frequency heavily occupied or he can say ATC unavailable मतलब कुछ भी हो सकता है now tell me something there is a very simple rule if you have the ATC available you can join an ATS route if you do not have an ATC available you cannot join an ATS route period you need prior permission from an ATC to join an ATS route you need prior permission from an ATC to join an ATS route any doubts no okay cool
What is DU?
कहाँ है DEV deviation DEV वो फाउंटेन पेन है ना भाई उसमें V और U में फर्क नहीं आता okay so now if you have the ATC available what options are available to you see if you have the routes available you may first tend to reroute okay let's say you do not have a direct routing available you do not have routes available एकदम perfect fashion में what will you try to do next you will try to do a direct routing this is in which case this is in the case where you do not have properly routes available proper route coverage there then you're going to do a direct routing third is a deviation so largely speaking deviation under ATC available will not be a very big thing and it is not a very common sight it is not a very common sight why because as long as you are flying over land over the Indian subcontinent, you will have ATC coverage available because there is land. Where will be a place where ATC will not be available, and that place will be the oceanic airspaces. Okay? Only then you will be subject to deviation. 99% of the calls you will not get deviation when the ATC is available. Why? Because if you are over land, ATC will be available. There's only one place where you will not be in contact with ATC is because of Himalayan regions and stuff, but those type of things won't come. ठीक है. लैंड के ऊपर एक और चीज हो जाती है जब एटीसी अवेलेबल नहीं होगा, दैट इज आरसीएफ. ATC can be unavailable because of two things. ATC can be unavailable because of two things. What are the two things? He can be unavailable because of a radio communication failure, or he can be available because of a genuine out of range. Okay. So you will be telling me, sir, you did not talk about ATC being busy. I am telling you that you do not need to study this. Why? Because if the ATC is busy, he is available, right? He is available. So whatever kind of calls you're going to give over here, just simply you need to grab his attention. You need to grab his attention. Whatever call you say over here, just add pan into 3. Say pan 3 times and then you give your call. Why? Because the ATC frequency is very, very occupied, and it is heavily occupied. It is very busy. And you are a person who is in urgent need, because if you don't get a clearance, what shall happen to you? You shall get into the CB, cumulonimbus cloud. Now you guys will tell me, sir, how do you mean by ATC frequency heavily occupied? I'll tell you, sir, if you start flying now, you will understand that the RT that goes on really in airports is like tar. You really have to find a gap in between so you can press your PTT and speak at once. Okay. So if the ATC frequency is heavily occupied, he is available, right? He can still give you a clearance. You just need to add pan to grab his attention so that he can favor you. What if the ATC is unavailable? ATC can be unavailable because of two things. ATC can be unavailable because of two things. Firstly, which is something known as a radio communication failure. Whenever we have a radio communication failure, we will give something known as a blind call. We will give something known as a blind call or a blind transmission. And whenever the ATC is out of range, we will give something known as a broadcast call. We will give something known as a broadcast call. Okay, more on this a little bit later. Anyone, any doubts so far? Yes.
That pan is only for ATC busy, right?
Yes.
Okay. What if two aircrafts, transmit call at the same time?
RT will get jammed and ATC will say RT jammed, say again. Okay. Now I have a question. The question is, let's say there is no ATC which is available. Okay, you're flying in the Indian Ocean, you're flying in the Bay of Bengal, you're flying from Calcutta to Port Blair. You are outside the line of sight of Calcutta, you are outside the line of sight of Port Blair. So basically you are out of range. But there is one aircraft. You can hear that aircraft, he can hear that. He can hear you. And that aircraft is in contact with the ATC. So tech means that you are over here, another aircraft is over here, and the ground station is over here. You cannot hear him. You cannot directly contact the ground station, but you can contact the ground station via, and you can tell him, sir, no, sir, please, can you relay this message to me? Can you relay this message to the tower over here? Can you relay this message to the tower over here? Under which case will it form? 1, 2, or 3? 1, 2, or 3?
3.
So you're telling me that ATC is unavailable.
One.
We are in out of range, right?
You are in out of range, but can you establish a contact with the ATC indirectly via this traffic?
Yeah, with the relay aircraft, yes.
Yes, I can ask the other traffic, sir, kindly relay my message to the ATC. Let's say if Tejas is the ATC and I am the person who is out of range with Tejas. But Vedant is good friends with Tejas and he's flying very near to Tejas. Vedant, listen no. Can you please pass on this message to Tejas? He's very close to you. I am very far. I cannot hear him. I have negative contact with him. You are in contact with him. Can you please relay this message to me? Vedant will be like, okay, message copied. I will relay and I will advise. Now Vedant talks to Tejas. Tejas is like, oh, that guy. Cool. Okay, tell him this. So now he tells the instructions that he wants to tell me. Tejas tells the instructions to Vedant that he wants to tell me, and Vedant relays Tejas's message to me. So Vedant is kind of like the messenger. And these messaging type calls, where he is the messenger, is called relay calls. So am I in contact with Tejas? Indirectly, yes. Indirectly, yes. So I can give all these three different types of calls as relay calls as well. I can give these calls normally to the ATC as well. I can give these calls as a relay call as well. Okay. Too much of concepts, right? Let's go on to the format. Too much of concepts. Let's go on to the format. Please write down the format. Anyone, any doubts before I go on to the format?
Relays for deviation or all three?
All three, all three. I'll just remove this arrow and I'll just write this. Okay. Works? Yes, buddy.
For exam point of view, do we have any questions relating to relay aircraft?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
You have to relay emergencies as well in the question. Relay maydays, relay pan. Okay. Any doubts? Okay. This is one of the biggest formats. Please make note. Okay. The first format over here we have weather rerouting. Routes are available. Write down the format. हैंडराइटिंग अच्छी नहीं है वापस लिखता हूँ position PRL. Okay, PRL. You told them your position. You can also mention your time. You can also mention your time. This is optional. This time over here, you can also mention it. You can also not mention it. See, let's say if you are on a compulsory reporting point, also make it a part that you have to mention your time as well. If you're not, let go of the time. It's that simple. Okay. Position report, जैसा कुछ point है, FIR boundary पे आप ये call दे रहे हो. If you're giving this call at the FIR boundary, if you're giving this call over at an avid, if you're giving this call, if your position is over at an avid or over at a compulsory reporting point, please mention time. Otherwise, no need of mentioning time, just like a position report. Works? Understood? This time over here is optional. This is the optional symbol. Now, done? No issues? Write down the first sentence. Will alter course from dash due weather due dash. This is the first line that you have to tell them. Will alter course from, you can enter two things over here. Present position or you can also tell them any point that is coming in front in your route. For example, there is a point Lima Kilo November, any navigate, any point, whatever point from where you will start your rerouting. Okay. Due any reason, weather ahead, or you can say for example Lucknow airspace closure. Anything, huh?
जैसे एयर स्पेस क्लोजर है तो ये तो पहले अपन को नो टाइम्स में दिख जाएगा ना कि इन फ्लाइट और अपने को आया नो टाइम, फिर अपन चेंज कर.
नहीं, अगर मान ले नहीं पता चला तब
तो वो तो फिर पायलट की गलती हुई ना कि नो टाइम्स पड़े नहीं.
अरे नहीं, मतलब no time is before departure. There can be changes after departure as well, right? There can be changes after departure as well. No? मान ले तो लखनऊ से you took off from Delhi for Chennai and there was no time till then. But by the time you reached Nagpur, Hyderabad airspace got closed. So no time is for information prior to departure.
तो ये इन्फो भी इन फ्लाइट अपन को एटीसी या कुछ देगा, कुछ भी
देगा ना? He will give it to you.
ओके.
Okay. ठीक है? This is the first line. The second line. Will reroute via. And now you have to give them legs. Okay. So whenever you reroute, okay, this is a leg, 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 right? Any given time the route changes, it is a leg. Any given time the flight level changes, the new leg starts. Okay. Anytime the route changes, a new leg starts. Anytime the flight level changes, the new leg starts. Okay. Now, how do you talk about a leg? This is how you talk about a leg. Okay. So we'll reroute via dash, comma, dash, comma, dash, xxx, y, whatever. ठीक है? Dot, dot, dot. So the way to talk about a leg is route comma, level if change, level if change, and then point. Okay, then again root and then level if change and then point. Now you're gonna ask me, sir, why will level change? Because whenever you're rerouting, that cannot always be perfectly on the easterly track or perfectly on the westerly track. You have to look after the semicircular rule as well, right? Everyone agrees on this. You have to look after the semicircular rule as well. Will alter course from present position due weather ahead will reroute via so and so route. Okay. Now the next section is optional. This next section is an optional section. Why? Because in this particular section, you will only give this call if you are rejoining the original route. If you are rejoining the original route. Okay. Only give this if you are rejoining the original route. Will rejoin rejoin the route at so and so point at so and so level. So have a look. When you were telling them your position, it was PTRL. When you were telling them your position, it was PTRL, right? Whenever you're telling them your legs, what is it? It is RLP. And whenever you're telling them about rejoining, it is what? RPL. This is how I like. I don't use this trick. मेरे दिमाग में fit in हो गया अभी. But if you want to start off on a new journey, you can use this thing. Okay. Any doubts? One second. Any doubts? Anyone?
What is that level bracket IC if
If change. If change. I'll explain it with the help of an example. You'll get it then. This is not the end. The format is still gonna go on. So now you're gonna give him estimates. So whatever your rerouting that segment is, you are going to give him estimates of the significant points or wherever you're changing the route. Okay. There can be n number of points in between, but you need to give him estimates of the points where you're changing the routes and you're joining a route. Okay. No matter how many. This is not two estimates. This can be n number of estimates till their destination. This can be n number of estimates till your destination. So estimating dash dash dot dot. ठीक है? ETA dash dash. You guys know what is to be filled in this dash. I don't think I should write it down again. You are well versed with this, right? Next, you have to give them now search and rescue information. Total estimated elapsed time. Total estimated elapsed time. Endurance. True airspeed. And lastly, you have to end with request permission.
अगर एटीसी को परमिशन नहीं देनी होगी तो पहले वो इतना सुनेगा, फिर अपनी रिक्वेस्ट भी सुनेगा, फिर बाद में उसको बोलेगा डिसरिगार्ड नेगेटिव जो भी.
एंड ये एग्जाम में भी होगा. He will not only reply, he will not reply. He will
15
simply
मिनट तो इसमें ही चले जाएंगे.
then so what will happen in the exam is you will be told, okay, you need to deviate due to weather. So you will give this entire rerouting call, but ATC will not give a response. So now you're gonna consider RCF and then you will be giving him the blind call. So in the same question, he is going to be testing you for this format as well as this format. Don't worry, you'll be getting marks for both of it. But this is what will happen. Okay.
It is total last time.
ये एक क्वेश्चन होगा ना 3-4 क्वेश्चन में से वेदर डिविएशन वाला,
हाँ
तो 15 मिनट तो यही ले लेगा.
नहीं, इसमें 5 मिनट में खत्म करना था.
फिर ठीक है.
अब समझ आया आरटी किस खेत की मूली है. So let's say everyone has written down the format. Give me a heads up. But neatly लिखना, बाद में पढ़ने में काम आएगा, क्योंकि पढ़ना पड़ेगा. इतनी बार फॉर्मेट ये पढ़ोगे भूल जाओगे जिंदगी क्या चीज होती है. So let's say I take a route, and this route is going from Delhi Okay, I'll just make it a little better. Kind of like this. This is Delta Papa November. This is Mike Victor. This is Chennai, okay? You have weather over at Hyderabad. This is Hyderabad. And you have weather here. Spreading eastwards. The route that you're flying on is Whiskey 20. Your aircraft is over here. You are in contact with Nagpur. You are in Nagpur's airspace, okay? And you're flying at flight level 350. There is a route available. Kind of like this. And this route is, let's say, Golf Hour 5-2. And you have a few points in between as well. You have this point. Let's say this point is called Egona. This point is called Kinki, and this point is called, let's say, and that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Brango. There's another route. It's gonna be like this. And this route is, let's say, Whiskey 85. And you have another point over here. Give any name to this point. Rotate. So this is the rerouting that you have in your mind. Draw it. Give me a heads up once you're done. Done? Done? So who told me कि ये 15 मिनट तो देगा ना कम से कम लिखने के लिए एक क्वेश्चन को? किसने बोला था? दो मिनट के अंदर लिख के बता दूं? बोल के
आप 2 मिनट में लिख सकते हो, तभी आप उधर बैठे हो, हम इधर बैठे हैं ना।
लेट्स स्टार्ट. Example. So I am in contact with Nagpura. I am in contact with Nagpur. Write down. नागपुर कंट्रोल की फ्रीक्वेंसी बता दो कोई.
One, two, three decimal niner.
Copy. Write down with me, everyone. मैं टाइमर ऑन कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है? 3, 2, 1 स्टार्ट. नागपुर कंट्रोल एयर इंडिया 1, 2, 3 ऑन 1, 2, 3 decimal 9. Position 20 DME. Inbound November Papa Whiskey 20. Flight level 350. Will alter course from November Papa due weather ahead. Will reroute via Golf Tower 5 to flight level 360 Kinki. Whiskey 85 flight level 350 Bravo Lima Romeo will rejoin Whiskey 20 at Bravo Lima Romeo flight level 350. Estimating November Papa 1120. Estimating Kinki 1150. Estimating Bravo Lima Romeo 1200. Revised ETA. Mark down the word revised ETA. Mike Victor 1300. Total estimated elapsed time 0300. Endurance 0500. TAS 300 knots. Request permission. I took 2 minutes and 20 seconds to write this.
इगोना का एस्टिमेट नहीं देना है, डोटेप इगोना
नहीं देना, सिर्फ एग्जैक्टली यही चीज तो मुझे सिखानी थी। सिर्फ मुझे उन चीजों का एस्टिमेट देना है, उन जगहों का एस्टिमेट देना है where you are changing your route, where you are changing your route. You are changing your route at November Papa, you're changing your route at Kinki, you're changing your route at Bravo Lima Romeo. Safe in point, because this is not a position report. Write it down, I'll teach you the concept. Write it down, I'll teach you the concept. Give me a heads up on the Google Meet once done.
ये ना मैं भूल गया, ईईटी का क्या था एस्टिमेटेड?
बताओ, 1 second. So you are done. Tejas is done. Shriram is done. Who else is done writing? Vedant is done. Utkarsh is done. Janvi is done. Shreya, are you done? Very good. Now let me explain it to you. कि हुआ क्या है यहाँ पे, किस किस को पूरा समझ में भी आ गया? Who all understood it? Raise your hands. Understood everything? तो याद कर लो, फॉर्मेट में सिखाता ही नहीं। चलो देखो, सो मैं नागपुर के कांटेक्ट में हूँ, आई एम एट फ्लाइट लेवल 350. ओके, so this thing is fixed, this thing is fixed, this thing is fixed, my position is fixed, my flight level is fixed, all of these things are fixed. If you look at this entire format, I just have to do what? I just have to fill in the blanks. This entire portion is fixed, this entire portion is fixed, this entire portion is fixed, will reroute via is fixed. I just need to tell them from where I will deviate, how I will deviate, and where I will rejoin. That is it. It looks like a very big call, but if you actually see, it is consisting majorly of fixed portions only. It's like fill in the blanks. If you remember the statement, you just have to fill in the route and your position and where you'll start your rerouting and where you'll rejoin your route. Okay. And you have to remember the PTRL, RLB, and RPL sequence. That is it. Okay. Have a look. This entire portion is done. No doubts over here. Any doubts till this point? No. Great. So now will alter course from November Papa. Will alter course from November Papa. If this aircraft had not been at before November Papa, if this aircraft had been over at November Papa, like over here, what would have my call looked like? My call would have been a little bit different. Instead of this, I would have included time over here extra as a position report. And what else would have I changed? I would have told him will alter course from not from November Papa. I am at November Papa. Instead of this, I would have told him present position. Right? RT is very very modular. Modular मतलब क्या? Jet engine modular होता है. The jet engine is modular. That means if one thing gets destroyed, you take it out and you put the correct piece again. It's like Lego. RT is like Lego pieces. One thing you take, you can change this and you can put it here, you can put it here, you can play around with it. Okay? If something changes, only that one particular part in the entire call will change. The rest, all things will remain the same. Okay? So this is one particular case. Now, instead of this, I simply told him, okay, sir, I will deviate it from, I will reroute from November Papa. I will order course from November Papa due weather ahead. Now, how will I reroute? Anyone doubts? Just lower your hands. Okay, you have doubt? Tell me.
Oh, we can give time over here, right? It won't be an issue, right?
Where?
Number Papa inbound.
If you are making a position report, now you are 20 DME inbound November Papa.
Yeah.
Are you at November Papa? No. So should you be making a position report?
Okay.
No, you should not be making a position report because you are not at November Papa. When will you put the time when you are making a position? When are you making a position report? When you are overhead a CRP or compulsory reporting point. Make sense?
Yeah.
Tejas, tell me your doubt.
If we are overhead November Papa, so position will be position overhead November Papa, right?
Huh. Of course. That's like obvious. Okay.
Okay. Yesterday for general flying format, we were giving like time estimates for radial position out of DME.
When? No, we were not giving.
Okay, it might be a mistake from my side.
See, it's got to be written over here. No,
Yeah, this one
see,
from Midaso
estimates are optional.
below. Like you just scroll down a little and yeah, exactly. From Midaso 1130, this one I'm asking about it. This 1130 we are given, right?
This example was of route flying, I guess.
Say something.
Just a second. I'll just share the image on the WhatsApp group. Just correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure. Yeah, you have to set in time there.
Sorry?
That is the position report time.
Okay.
Right, this is not an estimate. Is that an estimate? No, that is not an estimate.
Okay.
Remember, whenever I tell you, you have to make a position report, you have to mention time along with the position. That is the meaning of a position report.
Okay.
Understood? Okay. Now, Golf R5 to flight levels will reroute via. Now I want to talk to him about the rerouting segment. I want to talk to him regarding the rerouting segment. If I'm rerouting via this route, I'll take the route's name, whiskey, correction, golf R52. Did I change my flight level? Yes, I changed my flight level. Oh, look at this direction. I am going in the easterly direction, right? This is in the eastern part of the semicircular rule. Shreya, Janvi, you guys know this? Please tell me you know this. Last class, I had a very tough time explaining the semicircular rule to people. Confirm you know this, Shriram? Shriram?
Yeah,
Tejas, you know
it's
this?
semicircular rule.
Okay, semicircular rule, the eastern segment, the eastern sector is from what radial to what radial or what direction to what direction?
0 to 179 odd flight levels.
Beautiful. And western direction, 1802?
359 even
Beautiful.
flight level.
So now I'm rerouting from, I'm changing my course from November Papa. I'm going in a westerly direction. Can we all agree on this? It's in the, it's towards the western side. Shreya, do you agree? And from Kinki, I'm again going on an eastern direction. Tejas, good morning. Okay. So did my flight level change at every leg? Yes, my flight level did change at every leg. So I have to mention the change in the flight level. Okay. Remember I told you flight level only mention if change. So here it is changing. I will mention it. If it had been kind of like this kind of a deviation, I would have said, okay, we'll reroute via Golf R50 to Kinki and Whiskey 85 to Bravo Lima, India. I would have not said the flight level because all of these tracks are in the easterly direction. Understood? Got it. We'll rejoin Whiskey 20 at Bravo Lima, India. So this is the rejoining clause. This is the rejoining clause. Okay. What if you were not going like this? You were gonna go like this. The Whiskey 85 route. What if the Whiskey 85 route? Please make a note. What if the Whiskey 85 route, instead of taking you to Bravo Lima, India, took you directly to Mike Victor? Then what? Then what? This is Whiskey 85. What if this? Then would you have said will rejoin? No. Are you rejoining your original ATS flight plan? Are you rejoining your original planned route? No, you're not joining your original planned route. So that point, this estimate won't come. This thing won't come. And then your estimates will also change. You will give estimate of November Papa, you will give estimate of Kinki, and then you will simply give ETA. You will not give BLR because BLR does not ever come in between. Works? So that is why I told you guys over here in the format that you should understand that this thing will only be said if you're rejoining. Only if rejoining the original route. Only if rejoining the original route. After that, I am going to give estimates.